What if I told you that there was a secret stat that not a lot of people really talk about, and that 75% of the top 12 wide receivers all had this in common? Today we're talking about things that actually matter in fantasy football, and we're talking about it right about now. But first, do you ever find yourself watching our videos going, dang, I need more of this so I can absolutely dominate my league mates in 2023? Great, because we got just the thing for you. Our fantasy football draft guide is available for pre-order right now, and this thing has been a lifesaver for so many people for so many years. There's a link in our description, thefantasyheadliners.com. Get your draft guide here today, $21.99, scheduled to release on July 1st, and we update this bad boy all the way up to week 1 of the season. So if things change between July and September, hint, they're going to, we're going to update the information in the draft guide so you always have the most current information to make the best decisions possible. If you want yours for free, consider signing up for a new Underdog account using the referral code Headliners. Once you make that minimum $10 deposit, you're going to get a free draft guide as well. So we're going to match your deposit on Underdog. You'll have $20 to play with and a free draft guide. It's a great deal. Don't miss out on it. Like I said, links down below in the description. But today we're talking about that secret stat, which is slot snaps, right? We want wide receivers that get a lot of action in the slot. Why? Thank you for asking. Not a lot of number one defensive backs on opposing defenses travel to the slot. So when we get somebody there, we have like a nickel corner, which is really probably their second or third best defensive back on the team, trying to cover arguably one of the better wide receivers on the offense. Some of these guys are mismatched nightmares for opposing defenses. So I'm always looking for guys who get snaps in the slot because they have that better chance at racking up receptions and big plays. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at last year's top 12 wide receivers in 2022. So to start things off today, let's just take a look at who the top 12 wide receivers were in half PPR scoring just last year. In 2022, we had Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, Amari Cooper, Amon-Ra St. Brown, hashtag Doomtar in the chat if you remember, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, and Jamar Chase. Obviously a ton of talented wide receivers, but let's take a look and see how many slot snaps they had last season. And here we go. We had Jefferson at 191, Adams at 193, Hill at 220, AJ Brown at 153, Stephon Diggs at 194, CeeDee Lamb at 439. That's why we talk about him in the slot a lot. Waddle at 122, a little surprising, right? I expected him to be higher. Amari Cooper at 146, Amon-Ra at 367. How about Devontae Smith at 169? Christian Kirk at 494. Living in the slot is Christian Kirk. And then Jamar Chase at 125. So as you can see, 9 out of the top 12 finishers at the wide receiver position had at least 150 slot snaps. 75% of those wide receivers had those snaps in the slot. So what other wide receivers last season had 150 plus slot snaps that maybe have a similar situation this year, that maybe we can get at a little bit of a discount and maybe they can repeat these numbers? We had Godwin at 489 snaps. We had Jacoby Myers at 333, Juju at 282, Keenan Allen at 267, and he missed a lot of time. Jerry Jeudy at 267, 227 for Garrett Wilson, Cooper Kupp at 224, Donovan Peoples-Jones, DPJ at 220, Adam Thielen at 210, Lockett at 185. Pittman 177, Marquise Hollywood Brown at 172, Alan Lazard at 171, DJ Moore at 163, Mike Evans at 161, and Olave at 159. But like I said, we need similar situations. A lot of the situations changed for a lot of these guys just last year. Chris Godwin, he no longer has Tom Brady throwing him the football. We don't know if it's going to be Kyle Trask. We don't know if it's going to be Baker Mayfield. We don't even know if it's going to be Bob from Section 330, who's 3 beers deep by the third quarter. The situation at quarterback is going to be worse in Tampa Bay. Is Godwin still going to see slot snaps? 100% he's going to, but are the quality of targets going to be there? Probably not. Jacoby Myers, he's on a new team. He's no longer in New England. He's in Las Vegas, and it's a team that already has multiple slot wide receivers. Guys like Hunter Renfrow already there. Juju Smith-Schuster not having the ball thrown to him by Patrick Mahomes anymore. However, he's in New England, and we just talked about Jacoby Myers, who had 333 slot snaps last year. A lot of those are probably going to migrate the way of Juju, which really doesn't hurt his overall situation. We have Keenan Allen, who really has nothing changing. Sure, they brought in Quentin Johnston in the draft, but he's not going to play the slot. Keenan Allen going to stay there for sure. Jerry Jeudy, he gets an upgraded offense, right? Sean Payton should be there, hopefully to turn things around. Jerry Jeudy should be okay. Garrett Wilson at 227. They added in Mecole Hardman, and you saw another name on this list as well, in Allen Lazard. So I don't know if we're going to see that high slot total all the time from Garrett Wilson. I think he's going to be on the outside a little bit more. Cooper Kupp, we know he's going to remain in the slot quite a bit. Donovan Peoples-Jones, they just added Elijah Moore, and as of right now, he's their slot guy to start the season. Adam Thielen, he's on a new team now. He's no longer in Minnesota. He's in Carolina. However, DJ Moore is on this list and no longer in Carolina, so a lot of those slot snaps will probably migrate the way of Adam Thielen. Tyler Lockett, now he's got to worry about Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's probably going to have a lot of time in the slot. Michael Pittman. They just drafted Josh Downs, and they brought over Isaiah McKenzie from Buffalo to play the slot. May not see a whole lot of Michael Pittman there going forward. What about Marquise Hollywood Brown? D-Hop is no longer there. Who's going to play wide receiver on the outside for the Arizona Cardinals? Probably a lot more Hollywood Brown this year than we saw last year. Allen Lazard on the new team, but still has his same old quarterback, which is really weird. That doesn't happen very often, but he's competing with these guys like Mecole Hardman and Garrett Wilson to get those slot snaps, so that number could come down. DJ Moore, like we mentioned earlier, no longer in Carolina. Now he's in Chicago, where Darnell Mooney is usually the slot guy. Sure, they're going to move DJ Moore all the way around, but do we see him get over 150? Maybe a little tough. Then we got Mike Evans, so we know if the situation is worse quarterback-wise for Chris Godwin, it's going to be for Mike Evans as well. And then lastly, Chris Olave, new quarterback. It's not Andy Dalton, it's Derek Carr, but that is a good thing. This is a betterment for the offense in New Orleans, and this is definitely going to be a better quality of targets going the way of Chris Olave, who we want in the slot as much as humanly possible. So after going through that entire list, there's 6 guys that I'm going to highlight here that I'm really paying attention to on draft day to try to capitalize on the slot snaps. First one is going to be Juju Smith-Schuster, and I know a lot of people dislike Juju, but we could see volume. Heavy volume for him in New England. That's why I got him highlighted, because I love it in the slot. Keenan Allen, of course. Jerry Jeudy, looking for a bounce-back type year this year. Cooper Kupp, obviously, right? Guys like a top 5 pick in fantasy football. I'm not breaking any hard news there for you. Adam Thielen is definitely going to be a late round stash. Not going to have the ceiling that we've seen Thielen have in years past. However, another guy that could be peppered with volume on the inside in the slot and really rack up a lot of receptions, and he's super cheap. We'll talk about that in a second. And then lastly, Chris Olave. New quarterback is going to open up this offense. Plus, we don't know the status of Alvin Kamara, and Michael Thomas hasn't been healthy since Nam. It feels like we could see a whole lot of Chris Olave in the slot, and that gets my tail wagging. But let's see what their price is on draft day, so you have that information as well. Juju currently projected right around the 9th round or so. Great bench stash. Not somebody you have to rely on week 1. Keenan Allen in the 4th round. I love the offense with the Chargers. A lot of people really aren't too excited about this offense, and I don't know why. Kellen Moore's offense always puts up numbers. I love me some Keenan Allen once again. I don't care that they just drafted Quentin Johnston. Still love Keenan Allen. Jerry Jeudy in the 5th round, a little bit cheaper. Cooper Kupp, we know, 1st round pick. He's the most expensive guy of the list. Adam Thielen in the 12th round, another great bench stash that could rack up some numbers when you need them as a bye week fill-in, an injury replacement. That's why I'm targeting Adam Thielen late. And then Chris Olave in the 3rd. I love Chris Olave. I did a video on him earlier this offseason about players about to explode, and Chris Olave was in that video. This guy could have some huge numbers in 2023. Now, in no way is the point of this video for me to tell you that these guys are going to be top 12 wide receivers. we're looking for similarities, right? We want the guys that get the slot snaps because they're more likely to be able to beat a lesser defender and rack up big yardages and big reception totals. And as far as I'm concerned, I want them points in fantasy football. If you agree with me, hit the like button, consider subscribing as well if you haven't done so already, but do me a favor, leave a comment down below. Is slot snap something that you've ever paid attention to before in fantasy football? I'm curious to see how many people actually look at these numbers, but for now, I'm gonna get out of here for the day. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day and do your part to make the world a better place.